All right, let's talk about game 5 between Indiana and New York. Now, hats off to New York. I want to make sure I'm looking in the camera because I do have a tendency to not look in the camera when I do these videos. So let me just check real quick. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. But this was the first time in this series, I think, that we really saw some defense in this series, specifically from the Knicks. I don't. Oh, they were great defensively. I'll start off with that. As much as I would probably give shit to OG and Anobi for not shooting the ball well, I mean, it didn't end up mattering that he wasn't doing well anyway, and DeLon Wright didn't make a shot, but that didn't end up mattering because their defense was so good, right? Landry fucking Shamet was playing such great defense that he was getting fucking chance at the Madison Square Garden. Like, I did not have that on my bingo card in this game that Landry Shamet would be getting a chance in the Madison Square Garden. I mean, he played phenomenal defense. This whole entire team just played phenomenal defense throughout this entire game, right? Jalen Brunson, some of the shots he was making tonight were ridiculous, right? And when you have one of those things where Jalen Brunson's making all these shots, right, and is just making ridiculous, stupid shots over and over and over again, there's not much the Pacers can do in this game, I think, in my opinion. Um, and it doesn't even matter that there may have been some questionable non-foul calls on Towns, right? I really don't give a shit that those calls weren't given. Um, you know, a foul call is a foul call in my opinion. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think the Pacers win this game regardless. I just think they played way too shit tonight, not only on offense but only on defense. Um, yeah, man, it just simply came down to the fact that the Knicks made adjustments on defense. Right, they were more aggressive and they were attacking the ball, and I think part of the reason why they were doing it was because they were playing in front of MSG, right, and they were playing in front of the fans, right? But this is probably the first time in this series on either side that defense was played at all. And I'm not talking like the stretches, right? I'm not talking specific stretches. Like I think we can all refer back to when the Pacers um were just beating the shit out of the Knicks defensively. And I think it was game 4 in the second quarter where they just went on their run. Actually, no, I think it was the third game. Excuse me, it was third game, right, where they went on their run and suffocated them on defense, right? And I wonder two things. I wonder two things when looking back on this, right? Not looking back on this, but for Game 6, right? Because I still have my questions about this team, about the Knicks. I still wonder um, who is, and I don't wonder that. Screw that. There's two things I wonder. One, how are they going to play without the crowd? Are they going to go back to how they played in Indiana for games 3 and 4 on defense? Right? Are they going to be energized? Are they going to be motivated? Is Towns not going to take any stupid fouls, which he took multiple of them in this game? Right? Like there was just I think there was like 2 or 3 that he took that were really fucking stupid. Is that one out my window? No, I don't know why I'm doing that. No one's my fucking window. There's a current. My bad. But yeah, I think Towns needs to play better defensively. I think Brunson needs to play better defensively. There are some times during the game where their defensive rotations were fucked, but the majority of the time they were playing well, right? There was one Towns play, right, where he messed up in rotation. I don't feel like that's his fault. Really, he just got pushed way much into the crowd, and he's dealing with an injury that I think he's dealt with pretty much the entire series. I think if my memory serves me correctly, but at the end of the day, this Knicks defense played really well defensively in this game. They deserve to win this game, even shooting 27% from three and not making jack shit. They still deserve to win this game. They were just way better than the Pacers overall. They were just a better team throughout the game today, and we're gonna see in Game 6 if this translates over. Right, we're gonna see a lot of things if it translates over to defense, the energy. I assume the energy will be lower because they're playing in Indiana. I might be wrong about that, and their energy is at an all-time high because they want to come back from 3-1 lead and make fun of Halburn for the choke sign. But yeah, man, just an impressive performance by the Knicks. These teams are not as far away as the 3-1 series lead would indicate. So it doesn't surprise me that this goes to six. I had Indiana in 7, just because I thought Indiana was the better team overall, especially how they handled the Cavaliers. Even when they were even when the Cavs were healthy, they still won 2 out of 3 games. So Excuse me. Overall, just a great win for the Knicks, and let's see what translates in Game 6 and potentially 7 if they do, if these adjustments end up working. And Indiana can't figure it out, right? Also, I'm gonna give a big shout out to Precious Achua. I thought he was gonna be ass in his minutes tonight, and he wasn't. And I'm not talking the 2 minutes he played like at the end of the game. I'm talking like when he got put in because Robinson and Towns had not five, 4 and 3 fouls respectively, and he played his minutes well, right? So shout out to them. Now let's talk about the Pacers. This was a shit game. Benedict Mathurin played excellent night in my opinion. He is not the reason why they lost this game. Um, there's a lot of things wrong that happened in this game with Indiana, and I do not think it is Siakam's fault, although he didn't shoot the best. Nor do I think this is Matherin's fault. I want to make that very clear, right? I think Ben Shepherd played his role just fine. McConnell played his role just fine. Um, Jarris actually ended up giving them good minutes off the bench, but man, Obi Toppin, I don't know how the hell he has the second tie for the second most amount of field goal attempts. I honestly don't. He played ass tonight. The box line, excluding plus minus, which I don't think is a really good stat, but excluding plus minus, right? He played ass. He just wasn't that good tonight. There was a lot of defensive miscommunications he had in particular. He fucked up on the Robinson dunk, which I think was it Robinson's only. It was one of only his 3 points of the night, but yeah, Toppin did not play a good night. And I do think he did gain a lot of confidence from making that shot in Game 4, which felt like a dagger, right? So I wonder if he was more emboldened to be more of an offensive creator in this game. Um, but it just did not end up working out for him in the end. He took 4 threes. I did not realize he took that many threes. I know he took one in the first, but I did not think he took that much. What's his average threes taken per game? Oh, he takes 4 in the postseason. Okay, that's fair. How much has he been taking like in the playoffs? Let me check the game log real quick. I want to see because that's interesting. So he's taken 2-1-1-3, 2-1, 2-4-4-3-2. Okay, so it's not within the range of It's within the range of possibility, but overall, that he just did not have a good game. Good game personally. Miles Turner, he had an awful game in my opinion. He a lot of I don't like with Turner, right? Excuse me. With Turner, when I watched him play, right, the Knicks were fucking clamping the Pacers so bad. Turner Turner had to almost act like the initiator of the ball, not because he wanted to, but because they were basically not letting the Pacers get away with anything, right? There was one possession in particular, right, where Turner's in the back of the corner, right, and I forget how the play ended. I think it ended up in this turnover or steal or whatever. Actually, no, I think it ended up in turnover. I need to go back, but there was a moment where I think it was OG, I believe, or no, I OG maybe. I don't know. It was OG and Mikhail, right? Mikhail is on Halliburton. He's fucking grabbing the shit out of him. He's just basically grabbing to him like a rag doll, and then fucking I forget who OG or whatever was locking up another guy, right? And I think they did that a few times back to back. I think it was 2 times back to back where Turner ended up in those positions and just was basically forced in a complete chaos on defense. And those plays in particular really just summed up this game for the Pacers. To be honest, they just never got into any sort of groove whatsoever. Even when the Knicks were running their worst lineup out there, right? When they had fucking Precious Achua, I think it was like Precious, Delon, Landry. I think they're Mikhail, and then I don't know if Josh was in there. I don't know. It was McBride, Wright, Shamit, Achua, and Bridges, right? And they got Siakam on the floor. They still couldn't do jack shit. Sure, they went on a 9-1 run, but it didn't end up mattering anyway because the Knicks were just that much better than them tonight. And I don't know how the Pacers will respond in Game 6. I'm sure they'll play a lot more energized than in Game 5. Not Game, yeah, Game 5, because they're gonna be on their home court and they want to close it out in 6. But it'll be interesting to see on what do you call it? Saturday. Is it gonna be Saturday? Yeah, it'll be Saturday for Game 6, right? How the Pacers respond to just getting their ass whooped defensively, and how that and the adjustments they make to counter what the Knicks did, right? Because I'm going to quote Reggie Miller on this. I think it was Reggie Miller who said this, but it was basically the taste of their own medicine, right? Pacers, they were doing the traditional full court press stuff. They just weren't as aggressive as defensively as the Knicks, and I think that ultimately made the difference in this game, right? Obviously, Halliburton only had 2 for 7, only went 2 for 7 from the field, right? He got his free throws and everything like that, but he played like shit, right? He just did. He was just on the bench a lot of the time in third quarter, which I think is normal for him, right? But when he was not on that court, either on or on, it didn't matter what was happening tonight. I don't think Tyrese Halliburton was going to do anything about this team, honestly. I just don't think he was. So, it is what it is. Nembhard, he did. He played below average. Neesmith played like shit tonight. He ended up getting. I think there was a one point right where Jarris Walker was playing big minutes over him. That's just how poorly he played tonight. I think they were actually on the court for a few minutes before Walker subbed in for Siakam, but it was just not a good night for Neesmith at all. And I wonder how Game 6 is going to go. I do wonder how Game 6 is going to go. I think there's going to be a lot of things in Game 6 that are going to happen. I think it will be a classic, personally. I just don't see it not being one. We're either going to see the Knicks fight their way back to Game 7, or we're going to see the Pacers close it out and finally make the finals for the first time since 2000. So, damn, it's been 25 years since that happened. Shit. Larry's almost 70. God damn. But, yeah, we'll see what happens in Game 6, and let's see if the Pacers make adjustments for the rest of the series.